The taboo question. You received all these awards. Was it calculated?
You know, I have problems with awards. I know, having served on so many of these juries, that if the committee had met on a Thursday rather than a Wednesday, someone else would have had the award. That's just the way that.
Yeah. Bonsoir tout le monde, je suis extrêmement impressionné, intimidé de recevoir ce soir le lauréat du Prix Pullitzer 2025 et du National Book Award 2024, Percival Everett, pour ce livre, James, publié aux éditions de l'Olivier. But the rest of the conversation will be in English, because you don't speak French. Am I wrong?
You are correct.
So, this is a rewriting of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, the novel by Mark Twain, published in 1884. This restaurant was already opened.
It's already old.
This restaurant is older than Huckleberry Finn. And your idea is to take a character from Huckleberry Finn, Jim, the slave, and make him the hero or the anti-hero of your book. Well, it's not a very original question, but how did the idea come up in your mind?
Well, I wish I had a romantic answer for you that for years it was burning inside me.
You can lie.
But it was not. Now, truth is, I was playing tennis.
So it's romantic.
Well, as well as you don't, not with my partner. And I hit the ball sort of out of the court. And as I watched the ball sail, I thought to myself, has anyone ever told the adventures of Huckleberry Finn from the point of view of Jim? And that's how it started.
Mm-hmm. You know, there are many French writers who are rewriting masterpieces of the past. Recently, I had a guest in this show, Adélaïde de Clermont-Tonnerre. She rewrote The Three Musketeers from the point of view of Milady, the woman. Yeah, and also there is another famous French Franco-Algerian writer, Kamel Daoud, who rewrote L'Étranger de Camus from the point of view of the Arab who is killed. So it's in the air. How do you explain that? The desire to give new versions of great classics.
Well, I think some of us see these stories and see the voices that are missing. Mm-hmm. Mark Twain was writing a novel about an adolescent white youth. And he was not psychically or culturally equipped to write a novel about an adult black man experiencing America. So it wasn't his job to do it. Mm-hmm. But his depiction of the enslaved Jim is deficient. It's not a fully rounded character, and so it's my attempt to allow this character a vehicle for his voice.
Yeah. And it's more, the original idea also that you had is to show a different Jim. Jim is supposed to be simple-minded. He speaks like the slang of that era very simply. And you make him very clever and very literary. How did you decide that?
Well, you know, the depiction of enslaved people, enslaved Africans, was that they were simple-minded and superstitious. But being human beings, I'm sure there were some who were simple-minded and superstitious, but there were many who entertained complex ideas, despite their lack of literacy and education, wondering, why are we here? What are we doing? Why is this happening to us in ways that were more than just eating and sleeping? And so those characters are never given a place in the story. And so I'm just trying to do that.
The translation is extraordinary by Anne-Laure Tissu, because it was an impossible job. Because Jim speaks like in slang, and how she recreated that in French. I don't know if you read French. But
I don't read well enough to appreciate what she's done. That's certainly true. But she's a fantastic translator.
She, for example, in American, Jim speaks like that thing, things like D for the. In French, she found an idea to erase all the R's. The R's disappear. Yeah. So it's like in the African accent that is caricatured in, for example, Tintin au Congo. You know Tintin in Congo? Yeah. So they brillantement, they don't have the R's in the. So she used that, and it's perfect.
That's great.
It's great because you're always like shocked and laughing at the same time, and really, it's amazing. So you are describing the white world of this era with both comedy and fear. Am I correct?
Yes. In other words, the American experience for Black people.
Because you are, it's rare to laugh, cry, and be afraid at the same time that often in a book. Mm-hmm. You know, you're always like laughing and crying at the same time. It's like in the soul music, I guess. Is it a caricature to say that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
yeah. There's something to that. That experience of the absurdity of life, and viewing the world that you've been presented with, ironically.
Because slavery was surrealist, was something absurd.
Oh, it has to be, yes.
It's, in a way, when I was reading James, it was like reading a science fiction book, you know? It's so crazy to imagine that this really happened. And it makes you laugh. When you write, you always tell jokes about this horror.
You know, what's funny about that is I never think I'm being funny. I know I'm ironic, but I don't think I ever tell jokes. I hope that the humor is in the story.
Because Mark Twain was a humorist. Mark Twain,
yes. Very funny.
It was important for me. I read Huckleberry Finn when I was 13 or 14. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it is in the United States, but here it's a book for young adults. Mm-hmm. It's not read by old people. So I remember it was really a fun book with a lot of adventures and action. And you kept all of this. Your book is full of dialogues, action, it's moving all the time. They are in the river, they are in a boat. You kept this tone of something that goes very quickly, easy to read.
Well, good. I worked very hard to not adopt Twain's prose, but I wanted to I owed an allegiance to the world that he'd created, and so that was the truth that I sought.
I have a game in my show. It's called Guess Your Own Quotes. I'm going to read you.
Well, I have to tell you that I forget my books as soon as I finish them, and
that's what they all say.
I'm going to do terribly.
No. You have to tell me in which book you wrote this sentence.
Oh,
okay?
Man.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. Let's try it.
No, you will. I'm sure you will be. You will be good. Read, always read. No one can take that away from you.
Erasure.
I'm not Sidney Poitier.
I'm not Sidney Poitier.
I'm not Sidney Poitier.
I was close. It was a book I wrote.
You're reading, you're teaching literature, and you think reading is disappearing in America?
I don't think reading has ever had a huge presence in America. A few weeks ago, I was speaking in an auditorium, about 2,000 people. And they'd all shown up because of books. And in talking to them, I said, don't be seduced by this. We're all in here. We all love books, and it feels really good. But we're a fraction, a tiny fraction of this culture. If my publisher sells 50,000 copies, my book, it's a success.
Yes.
It's great. On the other hand, if I were to record an album and I sold 50,000 records, I would never record again.
Yes,
that puts it into perspective.
Yes, it's true. Okay, another sentence by you.
Okay.
Which would frighten you more, a slave who is crazy or a slave who is sane and sees you clearly?
Well, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. James. Another one. There is a trap. What's the use you learning to do right when it's troublesome to do right and it ain't no trouble to do wrong?
I have no idea. I don't even remember writing that.
It's Mark Twain in The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Wait. Now you're well. Two answers to that. One is you told me the rules of the game were these are from my book.
Yes, it's true. I told you it was a trap. I am totally not honest.
But I have to say that I read Twain's novel many times in a row so that I would forget all of the text, and I don't remember any of that book either.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry. Now, another one. The world demands that you introduce yourself twice. First as you are, and second as you are told to be. Aha. But my English is so bad and my accent makes you, it's more difficult for you.
Well, thank you for the excuse, but now what is that? Oh, is that from Erasure?
Yes, it's from Erasure. You must introduce yourself twice, first as you are, and second as you are told to be.
Oh, that's right there on the cover of the book.
Also, another sentence by you. It's incredible that a sentence is ever understood.
I'm going to guess that's from Glyph.
Erasure.
Okay.
I'm really winning all the time, and it feels so good. Another one. Oh, it's from the same.
Oh, okay.
She worried about how she looked while making love. I love this. She worried about how she looked while making love. And you define this as postmodern fuck.
Yes.
The postmodern way of having sex is to deconstruct sex, right?
During sex.
Yeah. And also you like to play with genre, like you wrote Western, you wrote thriller or detective novels, and now you rewrite Mark Twain. Here it's a writer who writes the novel that people expect from him. Why do you need this canvas? Comment on dit canvas, Margot?
Canvas?
Yeah, okay, it's the same. You need canvas to use to make your imagination work.
No, it's more that I'm fascinated by people's presumptions and expectations, not only of particular genre, but of particular characters. And sometimes genre will allow an avenue to those stereotypes that won't exist in a more realistic kind of work.
So Jim likes to talk to Voltaire.
No, who wouldn't?
In his dreams, he's having conversations with Voltaire. But do you know that Voltaire is cancelled in France now? His statue.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there is a statue of Voltaire right next door of this place, and it has been vandalized because Voltaire made money with La Compagnie des Indes, who had slave trade. So Voltaire, of course, was against slavery, but he took the money from slavery.
Well, and that's sort of the story of slavery. The northern states, the Civil War in the United States really wasn't about slavery. Though there were abolitionists, many of the abolitionists were profiting from slavery. Slaves, people carried mortgages on slaves, and so banks in Europe benefited from slavery. So, being opposed to the institution outwardly really didn't say much unless you were divesting yourself from it.
But do you think this civil war still goes on today when you see that there was a guy shot and killed yesterday?
Well, we don't know who shot him. He was obviously a disturbed person. But the right wing, of course, in the United States will politicize this and attempt to show that it's the left attacking the right. But
the opposite exists also.
Yes, but it doesn't obviously. But strangely, it doesn't get the glamour that this is getting. Just today, my friend Margot mentioned the Pulse nightclub killings in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
And that's a political killing. When someone goes in because they hate gay people and they start shooting people, that's political. But that was never called a political killing. Or it
should have, and I think there still is a problem, but not only in America, maybe everywhere of civil war still going on.
Well, we've lost the capacity for political discussion, for political discourse. What passes for it is polarization.
Exactly. So the taboo question, you received all these awards. Was it calculated?
I have problems with awards. Invidious comparisons of works of art is a bad idea. I know, having served on so many of these juries, that if the committee had met on a Thursday rather than a Wednesday, someone else would have had the award. That's just the way they go. It doesn't make the book any better than it is, and the only thing I can say is award. I would love to win an award every week. It feels good. Who wouldn't? But more people have come to the book because of it. What I'm excited about is this novel, at least in the U.S. and in the U.K., has received a lot of attention. It's a literary novel that's received a lot of attention. I would be happy if it was any literary novel. It just happens to be mine this time. So that's kind of exciting.
It's I said it's amazing how you make fun of such a painful history. But you're also very good at action scenes. The whipping of a boy, running in the woods, shootings, dialogues, swimming in the Mississippi River. And I've heard that Steven Spielberg might buy the rights to make a blockbuster of James. Is it true?
Well, it's certainly true that Steven and I have signed contracts, and we're trying to make a movie. Whether it will be a blockbuster, we'll see.
No, but I mean a spectacular action, because it's full of suspense in this book.
Yes,
it's a guy who's trying to escape and escape death.
Well, I'm very excited because if we make it, I get to blow up a riverboat.
And there is a horribly moving scene about a pencil.
Yes.
Pencil, Faber and Faber. Owning a pencil was a crime in those days. It was because was it because it's a symbol of freedom?
Well, it's a symbol of literacy, and therefore a symbol of threat to the status quo.
And the pencil has an important role because you say, wait, I lost everything in my paper. Oui. You say, with my pencil I wrote myself into being. And the translation by Anne-Laure Tissu, avec mon crayon, je me suis mis au monde par l'écriture. It's beautiful. What you think that writing gives birth to a human.
Yes, well, one's voice is how we exist in the world, and literacy, the ability to express ideas and to receive them is I cannot understate, I cannot overstate the importance of that.
Because you're a professor at the University of South California, professor of English.
I am. But that's not why I say it. It's because it's simply true.
So Jim is saved because he's reading and writing.
Yes. I think that's fair to say. True.
So I have different questionnaires to end this conversation. One is about you, because you're an important professor, about your favorite books. Can you tell me the title of a book that makes you cry?
The Way of All Flesh, Samuel Butler's novel, which is one of my favorite works, and the tenderness that he uses in describing a certain relationship in the novel. And it's also, but I find it's like listening to music. Sometimes I will cry, not because of the circumstances or what happens to someone, but just the language itself. Mm-hmm. And it can be a small turn of phrase, something that I hadn't thought of. I cry because it moves me. I also cry because I didn't think of it. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, I don't cry and I don't laugh at things that are really funny. I find them really funny, but I don't laugh.
Me, the last sentence of your book made me cry. Mon nom est James. James quoi? Juste James. Because finally, Jim has another name, like he was finally free.
Well, that makes me very happy. And as a writer, I never get to feel those things because I'm living with this story every day for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And the kind of emotion, although the emotion, even though I wanted to be there, is taken out for me because I've already imagined it by the time I've written it.
Yeah. Well, I am more lucky than you because I read it and didn't write it.
No.
Yeah, exactly. A book to brag in the street. You walk in the street, you want to look like
look cool.
Cool, yeah.
Any of my wife's novels, and people think I'm cool. No, I don't know. The famous photograph, of course, is Marilyn Monroe sitting, reading James Joyce's Ulysses.
Yeah, Ulysses, you look more than cool. You look like someone who likes to suffer.
Well, ever since that photograph, you look like a jerk. But no, I can't think of any book like that.
A book that makes you clever.
Oh, that makes me clever? Mm-hmm. not makes me perceived as clever, but makes me clever, which would be Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll.
Ah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A book to seduce a woman. Well, I know it doesn't exist in America anymore. It's forbidden to seduce, but
I think if you by seduce you mean if a woman were to come in and see me reading this book, she would think, oh, this guy is great. This guy is so sensitive. I think it would be something like The Velveteen Rabbit or some other children's book. that would at least give me the appearance of being innocent.
Thank you very much for coming on this place, La Pérouse.
It's quite a place.
One of the favorite place of Victor Hugo and Honoré de Balzac and Marcel Proust. They were coming here to have dinner, and maybe they're still there also. Maybe they're inside us.
I just felt walk through a coal spot.
So thank you very much. And of course, I order you, je vous ordonne de lire James de Percival Everett aux éditions de l'Olivier. Et aussi, pour encore mieux comprendre le livre et comment le professeur Everett joue avec la littérature et la séduction qu'elle exerce sur les lecteurs, Effacement, qui est paru il y a quelques années et qui est réédité aussi aux éditions de l'Olivier. Les deux sont traduits par Anne-Laure Tissu. Merci beaucoup de continuer à nous suivre, de nous commenter, de nous liker, de faire tout ce que vous pouvez faire avec vos doigts sur des téléphones. Et puis, n'oubliez pas, I'm going to say it in English. I say this every time at the end of this conversation. Read books or you will become idiots. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was a tough game.